Yeah, they film so much, and I feel like a lot of the good parts, if they're not dramatic, part of the crazy couples, it doesn't get included. So this finale, well, the reunion that you were at, Joe, you were there too, so you can both kind of talk about this. But for me as a viewer, I felt like there was so much that we did not see. Like it felt like everything was so crammed into the 2-hour reunion, and like, what was the most wild part that wasn't even aired?
Well, there was a lot we didn't see because it was filmed for 12 hours.
Yeah, I mean, well, selfishly, the most fun thing we did was this game called Nectar or Not Nectar. And it was like a game show where I asked the cast like if something was nectar or not nectar, and then they had to all like decide what was nectar or not nectar, and then Aaron got to be the one who decides who was right or not. And it was hilarious because Aaron is like the funniest freaking guy. He's got that, that like, whoa, bro thing. So you think he's stupid, but he's so quick. It's just like this weird affectation that he has in his voice. And I was like, he's like, could be a stand-up comedian. And so I was so bummed that got cut because it was really, really funny. But obviously the vibe of the show was a very, very serious one with the whole like Victoria and Greg thing. Mm-hmm. It was just, usually when you go to those after shows, there's a winner and a loser in those things. I mean, I think maybe no one's a winner in this situation. But like Kate and Logan, it seemed like Logan was like the winner in that. Like he kind of looked better than Kate did. For the whole like Victoria and Greg of it all, like everyone just looked bad, and I felt sad about that.
Yeah, that was watching that was rough. But I will say, being there, it was like most of the cast, like nobody was smiling, nobody was happy. Like I remember, doing Paradise the first time in the reunion show, and it just was a different vibe. Like even though people didn't get along on the beach, everybody was happy to be there. Wells, would you say this was, I mean, to me, I thought it was the most serious reunion I've ever seen or been to.
I would agree with that. Like, and that was one of the reasons why I was bummed that like a lot of my stuff got cut, because it felt so heavy that I was like, we need some yucks in this whole thing. Like we need to remind everyone that this is a fun show and like this is, a silly one. But yeah, it was definitely, I hate to like do like the Bachelor Nation cliche, but it was like definitely the most dramatic one we've done. And I think that's a fair statement.
But it also felt like too, everything that was included from what we saw as a viewer standpoint was very like kind of cordial too. Like from what we heard when it was actually filmed, it was pretty crazy. It was wild. People were going at it, but like the bits that we saw, it seemed like Aaron and Genevieve basically said like the right things. Like, we both take blame. We wish each other the best. Kate and Logan kind of like had their piece, and same with, I would say, Rodney and Eliza. Like it didn't seem like anyone was really still going at it, which I guess I expected something completely different. And I wonder if it's because it was so heavy with that Victoria, Johnny, Greg love mess.
Yeah, I guess maybe everything's relative. And then so when you think of like your problems, then you watch the Greg, Victoria kind of BS, then it's like, maybe.
Well, let's just call it what it is. That was fucking nuts. The whole thing, the whole story, watching it back, Greg coming out. I was like, this is intense.
Had Greg there, I was like, why didn't Greg just go on to Paradise? Like what? I guess I was confused with that. So do we know like timing of anything? Because it made it seem like not Greg and Johnny. Victoria and Johnny were only together for what they said 3 weeks, I think, after Paradise, and then that's when they called it quits. And Joey, you might know better because you did the podcast with Nick and Victoria and Greg after the finale, right? After that was all filmed.
No, I didn't do a podcast with them.
I thought you were with them.
Don't take me down this. Don't take me down this dark path.
Was it the podcast that broke Bachelor Nation that everyone's like, oh my God, Victoria and Greg are together?
No, it was after the reunion show. Nick had invited us over to dinner. So we went there, and Victoria and Greg were also there, and we had dinner, and Nick had filmed a TikTok, put together a TikTok. And then that was the one that like spread like wildfire. And of course, there's me just going like this fucking goofy smile.
Did you know?
Yeah.
Like I didn't sign up for this kind of dinner party.
Yeah.